I just made the Wave Makers LLC, and believe it or not, I have just went through my Department of Homeland Security background check and signed my MOU for the government contracts. I'm going to be mining for gold and diamonds and other rare materials.
How about that?
Yep.
No,
Actually,
so
I should be pretty dope. Actually, a lot of stuff to work. We're we're leaving out probably tonight. We were gonna leave out tomorrow, but we're gonna leave out early because we're gonna probably drive down, you know, and pick up a few people. And yeah, be dope, man. We got a lot of shit to do. We got to hit Mississippi, um, Mississippi, Kentucky, and Illinois all in a weekend.
you, you said you got to hit Mississippi,
Mississippi, Kentucky, and Illinois all in one weekend.
and what you gonna be doing out there when you do this? When you move
Mining,
around?
you mining for gold and shit.
Mining?
Yep,
I mean,
gold, diamond.
I just looked up on like I
Relics,
just
yeah. Now it's the thing. We're not just mining for like monetary shit either. Like we're mining for anything. Like we're looking for burials, ancient burial ground, body parts, like any
like the ancients and shit,
yeah, yes, yeah. I mean,
artifacts and shit like that.
we're going for the gold, and silver, and shit like that too. But you know what I'm saying? Really, I would be way more excited if we found like some type of ancient burial ground or something. That would make me a lot more excited than $1 billion worth of gold. But either way,
That's
25%.
love.
Oh well, we got Mozzie in the house. What up, Mozzie?
Cool and family, world dom, peace and
World
well.
domination for sure. We in here.
We already recording and live on YouTube, so I'm just kind of giving everybody a few minutes to get in here and we'll get started.
I bet. Let me get camera ready. Hold on.
How is the audio? Is it good?
So far, so good. Yeah, it's clear. Ooh, excuse me.
We're still good. Mm-hmm. Hickman's waiting on his team.
All right, my people's coming back in real quick. Hold on, let me make sure they straight, and then I'll hop right back. Alrighty, back and I'm better.
Oh yeah.
About to spread this bad boy out to a couple of groups real quick too on the real.
Damn. I haven't blown one.
You know, I've seen the other colors as well. Don't nothing hit like the purple though.
I'm telling you, bro, that purple is just busted.
Yeah. Something about that purple, bro. I'm not gonna lie to
Where's
you.
that all the way?
Like Mace Windu's lightsaber, you feel me? Specially requested, signifies, you feel me? A lot of angelic heavenly
Well, the
principles.
royalty too. That's like black fire. Hmm.
Ah, that's real spill. Yeah, that's dope.
Definitely coming together.
I got a banger of a topic if y'all willing to let me start it off.
Hey man,
I mean, that's
yeah.
cool. I just wanted to let him know, like, yo, it's funny that Chris just said, like, if I get on here, the Zoom starts, and then, like, he tells me that he's about to be doing these mining for all of these minerals and all this shit, right? And I just did a search on, like, what states has, like, you know what I mean, these nutrients, minerals, and all that shit, and gold that's, like, gatekeep that we don't really know about. Right before this shit started.
Hmm.
On the real, yeah. It's very interesting. It's very
Where,
interesting.
where,
But
so where did you where did you get a like where did they say would be some of the best places to look?
ooh, for real.
Hold on, give me a second real fast. I said, Missouri for, you know, like this lawsiness or something like losses, rich, fertile soil. They say that the locals out there be doing off grid farming. Southern Illinois, I think they said Little Egypt out there. It was like loamy, mineral rich soil. Eastern Washington for soil and top grain soil. Alabama, they call that the Black Belt. Got marine sediment and fertile clay soil out there. Nevada, lithium, gold, and rare earth elements. North Carolina has mineral rich Appalachian soil. Wisconsin and the upper like Wisconsin and Michigan area has like glacial mineral deposits. Georgia has like historic gold soil in there. Oregon has gold and platinum in the rivers, and Idaho has like glacier gold and rich subsoil.
I know we got a lot of red clay in Georgia and Tennessee for sure. Gold, yeah, lots of gold, a lot of gold. There's no coincidence that that's where Elon Musk is buying up all this land and gates, and that's where he's doing all this mining for all this shit that he's making these Tesla computers and rockets and shit. Very, very mineral rich, all kinds of stuff. Plus, probably no coincidence. That's also why they're doing quantum computers coming to Chattanooga.
First
And
quantum hub.
yeah, the first quantum hub. That's what they're saying anyway.
Well, the first publicly known quantum
Yeah,
hub.
yeah, that's it. First publicly known one. Ironically, Chattanooga was also the first gig city, I believe.
Yeah.
They have free Wi-Fi. Like the whole downtown Chattanooga is blanketed in a gig of Wi-Fi for free.
I could make an antenna to pick up that signal from here.
I know that's what me and Hickman were actually discussing. Like we could actually, if we took an antenna, put it up high enough, and then actually we took it a whole step further. But
Or, you know, I was
we're gonna leave those groundbreaking ideas
I was pulling
for
from Taco
personal
Bell.
private.
You know, from my
Yeah.
house. I was pulling from Taco Bell.
Really?
From my house, yeah.
Oh wow.
And I
Really? You were
Yes,
pulling
sir.
from that Taco Bell, full signal.
Damn, that's like a couple miles away.
And it was only like maybe a foot long.
Wow. So Ricky was able to fabricate an antenna to pick up Taco Bell's Wi-Fi from about what? What did you say? About 3 miles away.
Damn.
Yeah, full strength Wi-Fi signal.
Um, in the words of Josh, y'all cooking with grease over there.
Yeah, man. Well, speaking of Josh, well, I guess we should go ahead and formally introduce ourselves, huh? I'm C3 the Wave Maker, man. This is the Wave Wednesday Wealth Talk. I'm here with Mozzie the Joke and Mr. Eric Alexander. And we just here to drop some knowledge on hopefully discuss some things that could help you along your wealth journey.
What up?
Yeah, man. All right, so you said you had something that you wanted to discuss.
Yeah, my bad. I've been sneezing up a storm. Oh my god, my allergies killing me. Okay. I was thinking, you know what I'm saying, about how it is that we can understand systems better. And it's funny, Lord and behold, just like the gold situation, I was watching a video before we hopped on this call by Roy Casagrande. You know, that's my favorite, one of my favorite presenters, or, you know what I'm saying, educational lecturers, historian. He does a lot of stuff. But long story short, he dropped a video talking about understanding and decoding systems, right? And it just made me realize just how far everything has come so far. Like, I used to feel bad about charging $25, and now confidently I'm about to go up to 2,000. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And it's because I got the system behind me now. You feel me? It can feed wealth. It's not just feeding into a possibility or into a money pit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
System that generates it repeatedly.
yeah,
Repeatedly.
you know what I'm saying? I didn't hear you.
We're here sweating.
But yeah, man. Just that understanding or structure of systems, right? So I was thinking about how wealth can be transferred over. And that goes back to what we originally discussed, like what wealth really is. You know what I'm saying? If it's the knowledge and the applied knowledge, and then it's the experience of such. You know what I'm saying? What people really are looking to protect is the way of life. You know what I'm saying? And the systems that we have in place now, with WealthWave, with Block Cycle, with all the other things, can now extend and reach out to other systems and to other people. You feel me? And kind of touch them without them having like that jarring effect, you know, where it's like, all right, now I'm about to start a new habit, or I'm about to start forming new habits, right? So that comes with that pattern recognition. You start seeing things that you do, and it allows you to start testing things, right? We had another conversation earlier in the week about theories and hypotheses. You know what I'm saying? Hypotheses, rather, and what the difference is between the two. Like, you know what I'm saying? An educated guess and just something that's cobbled together from, you feel me? Whether it's ether or just the words he say, she say of other people relating a topic. And while there's no such place in a system really for a theory, right? You really want to get all of those kinks out the system, right? All of the human error. If you can get human error below a certain amount, you feel me, then you can make it systematic. That means you know for a fact that these results, doing these things in this sequence, right, will get you a certain result, if not closer to, right? But yeah, I'm looking at that and making my mind up around the pricing structure for things of the sort. Some of the stuff that's going on, and it's just basics, right? Like, where I used to have an attachment to it, where it's like, oh, $50, and yeah, it could do a lot of things, or I could make it do a couple of things. You know what I'm saying? But what is it for that other person? To now, where it's like, yeah, that 200,000, that 2,000, that 5,000, whatever the case may be. All right, how much value do I have to stop myself from? You know what I'm saying? How much is useful for that individual, right? Now it's not a matter of if I can fulfill; it's a matter of how much. You feel me? So it's
That's
kind
a good thing to have, right? Think about it. That is an awesome problem to have. To go from worrying if you're charging too much for a service to not even worrying at all. You know you're providing enough value. You're just trying to not overvalue them or overload or overwhelm them, because that happens a lot. Especially somebody new coming into a lot of these concepts and terminology and systems, right? They're not familiar with any of the terminology. They're not familiar with any of the concepts. Most people are coming straight out of a consumer mindset. You know, they don't even really know how to budget or save money or nothing. And then when you start hitting them with all this stuff that, oh, do this and do this and have this, and you know what I mean? It can be overwhelming for people, because it was overwhelming for me when I
of
first, especially when I first started getting into like trust administration of assets and things like that.
And everybody talks like they, like you already know what they're talking
Yeah, and that is true. A lot of people talk like you already, like, you know, you already assume, or they assume you already know what they're saying, what they're talking about,
yeah.
and it's that's a big thing to overcome. So kudos and congratulations on that being your problem.
Yeah, so far so good. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it kind of qualifies me to, you feel me, hop on here and talk about wealth a little bit more. The frame of reference, you feel me, that we are building together as well. And I want to say, like, Wealth Wave and everything that we've been doing in the public eye, like all of this has been extremely instrumental in a lot of the growth that I'm seeing in my own systems, right? Because another thing that I always say, and like if people watch some of the older episodes we've recorded and released, You know what I'm saying? I mentioned approaching people as though they already understand or they're at the same level of understanding as me. And while sometimes that can be a benefit when I'm right, you know what I'm saying, when I'm wrong or when I'm coming over and too strong for people, I don't have as many I don't have as many barriers or I don't have as many things to check to make sure like, hey, now are you good? Are you straight? So like when people asked me to dumb it down, it was more of an offensive thing even a week ago. But now I'm starting to understand like, all right, you don't need me to dumb it down. You want me to slow it down. That's
Slow
really
it.
what it is.
That's it. You know what? I'm glad you said that because I never really looked at it like that because sometimes when I would, I get told to dumb it down all the time. I, like you said, take offense to it, but thinking of it in that context of like, well, they're not really wanting you to dumb it down. They need you to slow it down. Just be a little slower with your presentation so they have time to grasp and kind of catch up. Yeah, I like that.
Facts.
I bet that
Facts.
does help.
Yeah. And thinking about it like that makes me so like, even though I'm slowing it down, because I'm saying it slower, I might give you a story, an analogy. I'll give myself more of a break from bouncing between the information just because, you know what I'm saying? We're having more of a conversation. We're having more discourse. Um, the only thing that I see with that is a lot of the times, you feel me, it crosses that business and that friendship boundary. Easy peasy, right? So it's like you got to be a certain type of person to be able to systematically do these things and to carry out, you feel me, your goals and stay on topic, right? Because it's easy to get distracted. It's easy to get pulled in, especially when you're not in a situation where this is skin of the teeth, or if I don't get this client, or if I don't get this contract, right? Like a lot of people I know do really well under pressure, and it's helped them become successful, but they didn't realize that, right, until they had already decided to become successful. So it's not like it was a make or break, you feel
Absolutely.
me, for that, but it definitely fucking helped. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point. Because I was like that. I didn't realize that I was one of those people that just responded better under pressure. Um, until like I actually started getting a lot of real like pressure that I wasn't used to. Because it's like when you respond well under pressure and you're going through the same pressure all the time, like you don't realize it. You're just responding. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being me, just doing what I always do. But when I started getting these new stresses and new pressure put on, from now I'm trying to venture into legitimate businesses and trust structures and a lot of things that I wasn't familiar with, a lot of these systems that you spoke about that I just wasn't, confident on. It did put me under a lot of pressure, and I realized instead of doing what a lot of people do, which is get overwhelmed, frustrated, and crack or fold, it would make me dig deeper. I would go hard, and then I actually began to realize like that pressure sometimes is what just puts it lights a fire under me and gets me to really make shit happen. And I think it's kind of when I took this whole gig on the such short notice. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what, that's something I haven't done before. That's something I would love to do. It's very interesting. Obviously, the people and the networking connections that we're gonna, acquire is gonna be,
Yeah,
you know,
for
gonna
sure.
help.
And that's why the first person that came to my mind, because when the opportunity was first like brought up, a lot of this stuff comes from general conversation. But you know how I am. I try to make sure that it's targeted towards the projects or the growth or development. The first person to come up was you, man. I was like, let me see if Chris really want to get into it with, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you already knew I was gonna say yes. Oh, what do you mean? I gotta leave in a day and a half? And we gotta hit 3 states in a weekend? Yeah, we'll do it.
We gonna turn that into 15 in a minute. Oh yeah, guess what, y'all? Vlogs coming soon. Some different types of content for y'all. Y'all really gonna see us in some natural motion. You feel me?
Yeah, we got a lot of cool stuff going.
Yeah,
We're
man.
just trying to really kind of get it all together and present, you know, something good for the people. We're trying to really make the content, make the knowledge, make the education like digestible and relatable. Because that's one thing I found, with my personal trainings, like the interactions we're dealing with clients and stuff is if you can make it relatable or if you can get them to see the end result and know that it's beneficial for them, a lot of times it makes it a lot easier for them to adhere to it. And I think where some people go wrong is they go, well, don't do this, don't do that, keep cut that out of your life, you can't have this, you can't, you know what I mean? And that just it takes somebody from a place of like, oh, this might not be so hard, to like, what do you mean I can't do any of the stuff that I was doing and I have to do all this extra work, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's just it's too much for them. But if you can do that, you can do those same things, but make it relatable to the client to where they understand why, and it's a lot easier to adhere to.
Right, right, and that's really what I feel like wealth in relation to the education business and to that aspect, because we are on the cutting edge in relation to all of the extra benefits and opportunities that are coming out with all of this advancement too, right? Because we're escalating past what all our forefathers could have imagined as possible, but we're not actualizing on some of those how should I say, like flying cars, right? It's not a practical reality at the moment, but we're quickly getting there for it to be an idea that we can facilitate. And that's why I feel like education is such a powerful on ramp. You know what I'm saying? We're actually able to deduce and break down things to you. So now that you understand, we can go ahead and move in a higher level and higher tiers of information and things, right? Once you have, like, I look at it like mutual assent, right? Like if I don't have mutual assent, I can't move forward. So if I don't have you in the plot spot where you are properly able to understand some of the implications of what's about to happen or what's going on, right? Then all right, that's proof of, you know what I'm saying, something that I can improve in my system, but not necessarily, right? It comes to a matter of like, okay, some information is not for everybody, right? And I've noticed that people will vet themselves off when it's hard. Look at like religious practices, right? I think it takes a certain amount of stubborn study and audacity, right, to be a part of a super religious sector of the world in general. Not let's talk about the spirituals that exist in those areas, right? But just that little bit of how should I say, that little bit of understanding goes a very long way. We see how people become, you know what I'm saying, ritualized, or they fall into systems that were predetermined and set up for them and for their families, for their livelihoods, for the environment. So there's levels and layers to different understanding points, right? And that's the beauty of it, really. And that's where I feel like wealth, because we're not only on the cutting edge, but we're also in an industry that's bound to grow, that being education. You know what I'm saying? The sky is truly the limit. Just hop on, have a conversation, leave some questions. You know what I'm saying? It's really just that simple, right? And we're also at a spot where we can still read all the comments. So there's that.
Right.
Right. Yeah, that's what I believe it was I think it was Dee Dee that told me that a long time ago. It was like, well, you guys have got an advantage to where you can lean on the comment section a little more than most people. And I didn't really catch what he meant by that, but I get it now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You wanna tailor to that comment section.
Mhm.
This is facts. And at least encourage some more comments too, right? Like I feel like that'll suffice as a call to action for a lot of people, because now data, I'm learning to see where it's applied, right? And I mean, it's quite simply, if you're streaming, you got a lot of different ways to get paid, man. You just by you having your face or having your name, or you know what I'm saying, being attached to certain platforms, that allows you to really monetize and scale up the opportunities you have access to. Let's talk about that on a national or an international level after we, you feel me, get to the comments of their friends and family, right? And I know they say like it's really hard to get your friends and family to support you, right? But that, I've noticed that kind of falls off too when you supporting yourself and you're going hard for yourself.
That's it.
You know what I'm
The
saying? That
people
kind
that
of,
have no choice but to pay attention. Right.
yeah, step by step.
That's it. And then it really resonates even more because it's like, man, yeah, at some point people have to realize, damn, I've been hating and it's still man. Right. And then they're gonna really start to reconsider. Like that alone could be enough to wake somebody up out of their bullshit.
Hey,
Yeah,
Like,
C3, your audio is kind of weird right now.
oh, just do your job. Just do your little old, you know what I'm saying? Oh, that's too much. So you ain't gonna make it. Like type shit. It's just like, bro, the last thing I'm gonna do when somebody tells me they're trying to do something good or be better, or I'm working on this, or I'm trying to be, I'm trying to do better in this. The last thing I'm gonna do is discourage that.
understood.
Like
Hey,
that,
yeah, your audio
that,
is kind of messed up a little bit, Chris. You sound a little
huh?
underwater, brethren, once again.
Oh yeah, did it get all crazy again?
Not
It's
too
doing
crazy,
it again?
not super crazy. Just like something is over the mic.
And muffled or something.
Yeah.
What is it doing it for? What about now? Is it better?
So change it.
No change? All right. Let's see.
Upgraded
Is
equipment on the
that better?
rig. See, that's another thing too, right? All of these different gadgets that we got now as well. I'm learning more and more from the like Reddit community, like the forums, and you know what I'm saying, how to get over like niche issues. You feel me?
Yeah. I mean, that's where the information be at, though. You know what I mean? In the Reddits and the forums. I mean, that's how I essentially put together like this intake manifold on a Honda Civic. You feel what I'm saying? That wasn't supposed to go on there. You feel what I'm saying? I got all the information from a forum.
Real spillage.
Is that better?
It's not better, C3.
Still, it just now started, or it's been like
It goes in and out. Like,
Yeah, but right now it's stuck. Right now it sounds like butt.
stuff on the bullshit. What about that? Is that better?
A little bit,
No.
but not by much at all.
What about now? I'm running all this shit through like a sound card up here on small mix.
Come on now.
I'm
I
getting it
need
off.
that. I need that right
Actually, I think I have it
now.
right. I'm doing some over here
I don't want
messing
to miss this
around.
opportunity. I'll stick this.
Yeah.
Yes, I need it.
What about that? Is that better?
Yes.
it went out. You was clear earlier. I don't know whether you might need to be closer to the mic or what. I don't know.
Stuff.
Baby, shut up now.
Yeah. All right. Maybe that's good.
I mean, I guess I have the word. D3, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah, it's gonna have to work. Y'all can continue. I'm gonna sound check every once in a while and let you.
What's the proper world, dog?
There we go.
So far, how's the educational setup coming for you out there in your city, Mozzie?
Me right. Is that I just be like, what's
If anybody's doing anything, like I see a guy doing this podcast thing, like raising awareness, like some of the people's businesses that they got. I mean,
this other?
going on within the community and stuff like that. But as far as any information base, like there ain't nothing none of that going on in my community. Yeah, I realize my town is small. You feel what I'm saying? I could walk into the next town over before it changes. You feel what I'm saying? To the next town, which I feel like that's kind of weird because I feel like Penns Grove and Carnegie Point should just be one town. You know what I'm saying? But it switches from Penns Grove to Carnegie Point on both sides, and then it switches over to a town called Deepwater, and then on the other side it turns to a town called Petrotown. So it's like all the stuff is kind of rural and farmy area a little bit, and these people are kind of like uh behind it. I mean, behind on a lot of information out here. Like I could kind of like clearly and confidently say that I'm at least one of the people that is like way out there when it comes with any of this information from law to business and technology. So no, that's why I'm trying to throw these events and informational events and stuff like that. Also networking events, so we can start, educating the community around here about these, groundbreaking things that's happening around them.
Or the real. So if people in the comment section want to really be fundamental in helping that happen, you know what I'm saying? People that's watching, You feel me? Where do they visit your site, or where is it that they can get in contact with you to kind of like, you know what I'm saying, help grow?
Well, with me, you can always follow me on Facebook, Naeem Bowick, or my page is Naeem be on it, you know. Uh you got to tune into these lives when you can, you know, and that's about it. Like my website is links.thenationofmozzie.com. I'm switching things around in there, but when you go in there now, you'll probably find opportunities for block cycle, for you learning how to use crypto and blockchain technology to your advantage, learn how to mine easily Bitcoin, and I'm switching it. I got some ebooks in there that'll teach you and get you ahead of the game when it comes to being online, doing online marketing and things like that. And some with the DeFi things too. Soon is going to be like a roadmap in there for artists, because I'm an artist myself also. But it's going to be more business savvy, letting you know how to do all this music stuff, tie all your royalties up and stuff like that. Couple contracts, templates in there for royalty splits, and places where you can distribute your music and get on playlists and things like that, and kind of like, turn your music hobby into a career. And that's what I'm really, really about, is helping people streamline what they try to do to elevate them faster. And, so I'm a guy that research and dive deep into a lot of information. And I know a lot of people don't got time. And when they do dive into something, they want that to be real practical, and don't be told no story and left in limbo about nothing. So I produce documents and share information of things that get people from A to B as fast as possible.
Can you hear me now?
That's even worse, Chris. Not gonna lie to you, but real spill. I see what you're saying, Naeem.
What about now?
That's better, but still terrible.
It's so weird, bro. I'm gonna have to readjust this soon, man. Okay.
Or the real.
Really can't Mozzie for no information, because I don't really sell information. Use.
Hey, now, Bozzy, now your bike is breaking up, Gary.
It's probably because I'm going through an area, because I'm on the road right now. So
Hey, real spillage. All right. But I heard you say you don't be selling information. You really going ahead and building out, like, you know what I'm saying, what you got going on. So that being said, because we all tied together and we have all of these different educational platforms, right? I also want to say, you know what I'm saying, shout out to the projects that we got going on within the ecosystem. But joining one of the groups, right, is the fastest way to kind of get all the basics under you, and then you can kind of come with more educated questions, and you feel me, you can come with projects that you've already drafted. Like by this point, like I'm hoping that people got enough content to be able to go ahead and start building their own businesses, right? And then coming for us, really trying to, you know what I'm saying, build off of what they understand, right? Because we giving out some information over here, some stuff that you ain't gonna find nowhere else, fine sorted and fine tuned on the real. And I like the fact that you got to focus on the artist, man.
what'd you say?
I said I like the fact that you have a focus on the artist. You know what I'm saying? There's nobody really out
Oh
here that's
yeah.
doing that. So, who's your favorite rapper right now, or
Right
favorite artist?
now,
Yeah,
I don't
in
have one. Like my favorite artist of all time is Jadakiss. You feel what I'm saying? Who I listen to on a daily basis, like that be like riding with me in my car, is CDs that came in it, and it's like NBA YoungBoy in there. You know what I mean? I got a little Benny Siegel mixtape in there, whatever, a little rock joint in there. You feel what I'm saying? Like, as far as new artists, I can't tell you if I like them all, any of them. Like, I like certain artists that what they're doing is showing me nowadays, like Big Sean showing off a little bit. You feel what I'm saying? Um, Joey Badass. What's the other guy, man? What's the other boy that did the Will Smith drawing, man? He did some crazy John Will Smith drawing.
Lucas,
The Joyner boy.
Jordan
No,
Lucas.
man, Joyner
Yeah.
yeah,
Lucas. You feel what I'm saying?
I fuck with
I
him.
like him and
And
his
Don
visuals and
Clips,
his
though.
creativity. You feel what I'm saying when it comes to visuals, you know what I mean? But I can't tell you that it's like I don't have no favorite artist besides that boy Mozzie Mako. You know what I mean? That guy Mozzie Mako is great.
Is
Sees
that please tell me this,
Barry
lady.
was the father of her child. We were discussing Yandy's marriage, her so-called king, her man.
You said what happened?
Y'all can hear me now?
This is decent.
We can always hear you, but it's just like how we hear you.
I'm saying, what's it sound like, bro? You said I sound like I'm underwater.
Yeah, you sound like really muffled. It's really low
Man,
compared
been
to
like that
our
the whole time.
audio.
Hmm.
Could you run it through the computer audio itself? Maybe I
All
don't
right,
know.
you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just do this, bro. I'll hit it up like this. What's up, man? Is it better or worse?
That bad boy just too far away from you at this point,
It's
gang.
better or worse?
I'm thinking it's just too far away from you or something.
I got the mic right beside me, y'all. Y'all can hear me now?
Silent. She wasn't only revealing lies, she was also
Still kind of terrible quality. Oh shit,
But
hold on.
it's not clear.
What up now?
discussing Yandy's marriage, so-called king.
It's like somebody got the compressor or something on your mic.
It might, you know what? It might be just mine.
Like it's not letting the audio through.
Oh,
Like your EQ off or something.
what's up, man? Is it better or worse?
The
It's still the same.
negative.
Worse? The fuck? Hold on, man. You can get it on VLC. What about now? Anything, bro.
I don't know. We can hear you. It ain't like we you know what I mean? But it's like, I don't know. I don't know whether you got to disconnect it and then reconnect it or
What's
what.
that? Stupid shit right here, probably. Can you hear me now?
Now you got super loud with some reverb on you.
Man, it's the stupid ass thing shit. The whole time.
Yeah, you got a lot of reverb on you now, like an echo or something. But
Is it better now?
it's way better.
Yeah. The whole time, I was like, I know I fucked this shit up, right? Man, it was literally the setting on the little Zoom had it through some little software bullshit instead of my shit.
It sounds like you know reverb though, like
All right.
hella
Well,
reverb.
yeah, but then now I can fix this shit. Okay. What's up now? That's better. It's an episode on how All right, we good now.
Yep.
Cool. All right, now we get started. Well, at least I know it all works.
Yeah, that's what you need to be at right there.
Yeah, cool. Now I know what to do. Turn that little bullshit off the name. That's all we got. We were supposed to have another guest up in here today, but them kids, man, it's the technology working against us right now. Trying to, you know. So, me and you spoke a little about the music stuff that you had going on, Mozzie. Do you want to you want to get into some of that and explain some of the ways that like people? Because think about it, a lot of the youth, everybody wants to be a rapper. Everybody, a lot of the youth, especially, if they had a way to just make some money or build some wealth off of all that freestyling they be doing with their homeboys, that could probably help a lot of kids.
Again. Chris, are you talking?
Okay, all right.
I can't hear neither one of you guys.
Can't hear neither one of us. Come on, they with the bullshit.
Yeah, I can hear you now. But for a minute, I couldn't hear you.
Really?
Yeah, but you're good there. That's why I was like, I didn't get the question.
Maybe it was.
Said something about the artist, but
Yeah,
then
I
I
was
heard you saying
saying.
the kids and stuff.
Yeah, I was saying like a lot of all these kids. A lot of kids want to be rappers nowadays. Everybody's freestyling with their homeboys and stuff. You know what I'm saying? If they had if they knew a few ways to be able to generate revenue or income off of all that music they be creating. Because honestly, bro, I have heard some of the most amazing artists that will never see the light of day. And that's sad because it's not really who's the best, it's who's the most popular, who's got the most attention.
I mean, that's true to an extent if you don't got no know-how. You feel what I'm
Well,
saying?
that's what I'm
Because
saying. A lot of these
you
kids
can
don't,
be
man.
eating
You know what
out
I
here
mean?
without nobody having a clue who you are.
Well, unfortunately, that's what's going on in the world today. A lot of people don't know who they are. And even if they're looking in the right directions, they don't know what to look at. Like they might be idolizing these rappers because they've made a bigger way, or they've, created wealth, or been able to, get rich or whatever it is. But they ain't looking at the ways they did it. All they're looking at is the music that they're making. Oh, well, they rap about shooting and killing people, so I'll rap about shooting and killing people and I'll be rich too.
Yeah, nobody never goes and think about reverse engineering
Mhm.
an
And they don't
artist's
look at the artists
process of
that are
marketing
popular.
strategy or nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Right? Why is little baby? You know what I'm saying? Why are some of these artists the way they are? If you actually look into a lot of the bigger artists, you're going to see that a lot of them probably have an understanding of business, right? They probably all have trust established. You know what I'm saying? They probably
Or
didn't
got
sign
somebody
some
on the
bullshit
team that
record
do,
deal.
for
You know what I'm saying?
sure.
Until they had enough clout behind them or whatever to be able to walk in there and negotiate the terms they want. Right? That's why a
Absolutely.
lot of artists, you'd be better off going independent or getting with a label that ain't on the bullshit.
Better off learning this blockchain technology, get into it, learning how to get to your product straight directly to your fans with no middleman. You
No middleman.
know what I'm saying? Like,
And
that's
then
the whole
honestly,
point.
if you build enough buzz, bro, the rest of that shit's gonna come to you.
I mean, yeah, if you just implement it in your business regardless, it's gonna come to you. It's just gotta be, you guys just gotta implement the right technology while you're doing it, what you're doing.
Well, you want to kind of go over some of those things that people should look at when they're talking about trying to make some money off of their music?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. You know what I'm saying? Real simple. You want to look
It
for
is.
a performance rights agency. You know what I mean? Who is gonna track your royalties somewhere you can register your songs. You know, it's one called the MLC. They track your mechanicals and shit like that. You know, um, a more popular one that just came out is Song Trust. You know, that's just been
And
out
these are
for
all
a couple
platforms
years.
that they can go and put their music on to make money.
Yeah, platforms that they can go on, read the information on them, and see what they do. You feel what I'm saying? What they all
Right.
about?
You know what? An easy one is Bandland.
Yeah, BandLab got a lot of information on there too.
Yeah, BandLab has got a lot. It'll teach you how to really like run a studio if you get in there and actually take the time to do it.
Yeah,
And then I think they've even got I believe you can publish your song straight from so you can record it on the app and then publish the song straight to the BandLab like platform to be like listened to by other people and stuff.
BandLab is an online studio.
Yeah,
If you're an engineer, you should be on BandLab
it is
because
pretty dope.
there's a bunch of artists on BandLab that don't have no clue about engineering, but
They
they
don't.
just record, and you could be eating as an engineer on
Yeah,
BandLab because all y'all got to
it
do
is
is
true.
collab. All he got to do is just invite you to the collab, and you just mix his song down and just boom, right then and there, and you paid,
I got a
bro.
full recording studio, like with the software, the whole everything, PA system, drums, pianos, the whole thing. I still
That's
use
like
BandLab.
that's
I
$1 million
still
worth
use
of game
BandLab.
to anybody that's listening. If you hear that right there as an engineer, bro, because that's like a real low, like I feel like an overlooked type of platform,
It
especially in
is
that
really.
niche with engineers,
Oh, here he is. Fun.
engineers, beat makers, everybody. You should be on
Yeah,
BandLab. You can
it
easily
is a good platform.
collaborate,
It's
easily
easy.
collaborate. That's easy money.
It
Instead
is.
of you having to pull your song from this software to that software, y'all all using the same chip. It's got plugins in there. You could use your software to
Yeah,
enhance
you can generate
BandLab.
samples
You
and
feel what I'm
everything.
saying? Like, bro,
It's
and then you
perfect
can
for
use it.
somebody that ain't
And
got
you can use
a
it
lot of
and
money.
promote your stuff. You can use it and promote your songs through BandLab
Mhm.
also, all in one spot, bro. It's a one-stop shop for artists,
Yeah.
bro.
It would
Engineers,
be
beat
good for somebody
makers,
starting out for sure.
ripping.
Teach you like a little bit of ins and outs. You know what I'm saying? Get you
Yeah,
familiar with some of the ways these things work. And I like they've even got their own mix and master and stuff, don't they? So
they
you
got
can literally, as long as
presets
you
in
got some,
there.
as long as you got some headphones with a mic on it, like you can go to town.
All it might take is just a decent mic. You feel what
Yeah.
I'm saying? That's
Get in the
it.
car or something where the acoustics ain't bad.
Yeah.
Go with it.
You know what I mean? And just go because they got presets in there already that you can mess with that'll make you sound pretty decent already. That you don't have
I
to
want to
do
go
too
ahead and say
much.
hey to Mr. Hickman Aliel. He finally joined us. It looked like the technology and the app was working with him. Finally.
Yeah, man.
Well,
Peace, 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 peace. How y'all doing?
man,
Peace,
I'm
family,
doing good. How about
peace.
yourself?
I'm doing all right, man. Just was outside rearranging the yard. So
I just did some yard work myself right before this.
yeah. Hell yeah, it's hot down here right now,
It
bro.
is hot down here. Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's hot out here too.
Yeah.
For real.
All
We
right.
were
I
just
guess that
discussing
proves that
some of the
we on a
ways.
flat plane and the sun is in the same spot where everywhere else.
Yeah, we were just talking about some of the ways that people could use music, because especially a lot of the young kids definitely want to be rappers. You know what I mean? We're just discussing some of the ways people could use music to generate like some revenue or wealth. I know you have a background in that as well. In your youth, you was quite the entertainer.
Yes, sir.
Do you got a couple things you could add, or maybe even get into somehow how you could protect some of that once you've acquired some money off of your music?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll just say, try to get yourself into the exact creative mindset that you have while creating the music or being involved with the music that you have on your business side. You never short yourself. And what I mean by that is, when I was about 19, my oldest brother flew me and my middle brother out to California on account of some music dreams that my middle brother's been chasing since he was younger. Like he used to make his own beats on one of those keyboards, you know what I mean, that only took like double D batteries type deal. You feel me? Um, we went out there and we met this dude named Zab Spencer out of Venice. He was in Venice, California at the point in time. He's from the UK though. Shout out Zab Spencer, by the way. But Zab had put us onto um a play that I've never quite heard before, but that I knew that was happening. And he said that he does 30 to, or it could even be like 3 seconds, 1 second, might be a little chime or something like that. But he does music inserts dealing with videos, dealing with like commercials in movies. You know what I mean?
Like
So
little
his
quick
bag,
jingles, yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
no, bro, like even past that, like you might fuck around and have just like a little sporter sound that was
Oh
inserted into a
wow.
trailer. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It could
so
have been
actual
any.
effects.
like anything.
Special effects
Like it could
sound.
be
Yeah,
an
like just
actual
that
track. It
sound.
could be, yeah, it could be anything. And he was just literally keeping his options that broad. But he asked us in the midst of us, of my brother showing him some tracks. He's like, "So what are you trying to do with that?" He was like, "I could probably use this little N right here." He's like, "You mind if I buy this little 30 seconds off you?" Bro was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I just want this little 30 seconds right here out of this song." He's like, "Can I have that?" We're looking at him like, "What the fuck are you talking about, dude?" He's like, "All right, so." He's like, he said, "I have a pitch deal right now." He said that I have to go to in like the next few hours. But he was like, "I could take this and I could pitch it to the dude and see if he wants to purchase it for this new movie that they're about to drop." And me and my brother look at each other like, dude, what the fuck? It's a whole different ball game of money right here. Like niggas ain't even thinking like this. You feel me? So I say that to give more insight on business anyway, man, in a wider spectrum. Like, don't limit yourself when you're dealing with stuff.
Yes.
You might not necessarily be the image that's going to make it. You know what I mean? Even though you want yourself to be that image and that voice, man, like there are very selective few that actually get to be in those positions. And I'm not saying that for you to take that and get into a down position about yourself. Just realize more about yourself and don't short yourself in other areas where you may
Exactly.
be, crossing out or declining your and not accepting a blessing that's right in front of your fucking face. Because me and my brother could have capitalized off of $30,000 right then and there just for selling 30 fucking seconds of a fucking song that meant nothing in the long run. You know what I mean? Um, There's also other opportunities to be able to capitalize. Like if you're looking towards monetizing yourself, obviously get into the nature of conducting your own contracts, being very mindful over all of your intellectual property, looking at copyrights, trademarks, things of that nature. But definitely understand the private aspect, man, because there's always a middleman. There's always somebody else that's going to be there trying to capitalize off you, or that is already going to capitalize off you. And so back then we were looking at more independent ways how to do things. It just so happened that we were blessed to be able to sit down, with some very, very elite level people. Another one of these beings that we got to sit down with was Bob from Tim and Bob Producers. They literally created Bobby Valentino. They made all of his first
Oh
three to
wow.
four albums. They literally made his image, his sound, all of that. That was all due to Tim and Bob. My oldest brother ended up meeting them at a music expo in Peoria, Illinois, or something like that. And then from there, they just kind of clicked, dealing with the story of their mother passing when they were young and how it helped them push. And my brother was just sharing a lot of that. So we got to have a few meetings with them and sit down, and we got some other perspectives of the game as far as what's needed, you know. A&R reps, man. And there's also thick ass books you can look into, music executive books, where basically they sell the information out of A&R representatives across the whole entire industry. You know what I mean? But you're just looking for some kind of base level contact like that as far as A&R reps, so you can be able to get a meeting. Your job after that is to be able to get another meeting. So you want to make sure that you have a package or something that's, in a portfolio. What do I mean by that? Stacks and stacks and stacks of actual physical representation of your fucking numbers, your stats, your analytics, the CDs, if you sold them, if you have those tied to any other platform, how much those platforms are moving and selling, what is your motion, what is, you know, all that stuff. What are your views? They want to see pictures of all your shows, who you opened up for, what kind of ticket sales that you made off of that, what kind of liquor sales, different things like that. So again, you're just really being very mindful of operating yourself as a business. The more professional and the more outside of the box you think is, the more successful that you're going to get. Because again, a lot of those industries become so focused on, oh, you got to be a star, you got to do this. Man, don't get caught up in all that shit, bro. Money is fucking everywhere, especially involving
Everywhere.
all that shit. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? You might just fuck around and be a promoter
Absolutely.
for a club, and that might just be your in into opening up for bigger artists. My brother did that shit for a whole entire year, and he literally transformed the one of the most non-popular fucking clubs in Appleton, Wisconsin, which was Obi Brauhaus, and the owner Frankie Shot was battling with this other club called Antros, which was more of a brother club, and then they had this bigger popping club that was called Luna. We ended up opening up for YG there too. YG But everything else was actually held that Frankie Shot shit. He had ended up revamping OB Brauhaus, and then he opened up the joint next door, and that was called Extra 920. But in Extra 920, we opened up for Kirk O'Bangs. Damn, that's crazy. Bobby Valentino. Uh,
Right.
John Connor, Bad Luck, Problem, Twista.
I opened up for some niggas.
Yeah, bro. We did a lot with the music, man. We even ended up throwing our own show over the main promoter there, just by conducting such great business with that club owner, Frankie Shot. But it was like it was a big boost. It was a big shot at that point in time because we had already had that meeting with Bob from Tim and Bob Producers, and was already set to like go do some, me and some decently major shit. It's just the analytics didn't necessarily pan out. Motherfuckers got caught up just living a club lifestyle. I kind of get tired of the music, man, just being around and shit. And there are some other things that happened personally. So I guess on that note, plan for the unplanned and unexpected, because life is still lifing out here and you never know what the fuck's gonna happen, man. You're not all
Yeah,
the way fully
absolutely.
secure in any situation, bro.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey man, I didn't know you was
Kind
a
of like this, the
artist,
same
man.
way those records. Go ahead.
Hey, man.
Go ahead.
Yeah, bro. We used to get down with the music, Naeem. I was rapping fresh out of high school, God. Yeah, man. I touched a lot of different lives in this lifetime, man.
Yeah, to say the least, man.
But then you start
To say
Hold on,
the
let me
least.
mute myself. I got sound.
All right.
Yeah,
Look
you
them out
sound
of
like
them
me. You
like,
sound like you've been in music your whole life too.
What'd you say? I have to keep muting myself because of that sound feedback. But what'd you say?
Oh, I was just saying, it sounds like you're like me. You've been, around music your whole life too.
Pretty much, man. I really didn't get interested in it until it was like I think my sophomore year in high school, and then
Like
yeah,
I grew up around it, and my uncle like pushed me into learning how to play and stuff like that. Hold on, man. What's up, man? Wait.
oh, so you're playing actual instruments and shit. Oh, he muted himself. What was good, Naeem?
Oh yeah, my bad. The kids were saying. Yeah, actually, yeah, I started learning how to play the drums when I was probably 5. Um, my uncle was trying to get me into the guitar, but it was just like wasn't interesting at the time. I regret it now, but from there it just kind of progressed. Learn how to play the piano, the guitar. Of course, you play the guitar, you can play bass. But my uncle was just like he knew how to do everything. So I was already like in a recording studio by the time I was like 5 or 6 years old. Already twisting off.
Oh,
Learning how to run
fucking A,
songs
dude.
at live gigs. And then he would put me on the spot, man. I'm like way too young to be in a bar anyways. And I'd be in there like supposedly to listen to his band play, you know. And really he would just like in the middle of the set hit a spotlight on me and tell everybody I came there to play. And like just completely put me on the spot, bro. You get over stage fright real quick.
Oh, so you're still playing drums back then, you're saying?
Yeah, man. I was like by the time I was like a teenager, I was already like playing gigs in the bars and everything. And then I got good with all the club owners around Chattanooga. And that progressed into like Atlanta. Like the Gallardi, Mr. Gallardi, he owned Pink Pony South. Rest in peace, Mr. Gallardi, by the way. Yeah, that's a whole big thing. And that all just was like from music. Introduced a whole different side of life, like you said, many different lives. Just from getting out and like seeing what other people got going on.
Man, that's dope though. Getting
Yeah.
that experience so young, it's kind of taboo nowadays, but that was like an everyday activity back in the 90s. If you got brought to the bar with your parent, that was like a
Right, yeah.
Tuesday.
No saving. Yeah, like you had to drive them home. What do you mean? They were going to be drunk,
Real shit. Real shit. Hand you some kitty
especially in the
cocktails
South.
and you get a
I
sip of
imagine in
beer.
the North too. Cause yeah, man, those were a different time. it was, I thought it was better. Most people think that the better the technology gets, the better the, quality of life gets. I tend to disagree for the most part. I'd say, look, if you can use the technology to benefit you and to help you succeed in your goals and in your purpose, then absolutely, I 100% support it. But if you're using technology so you don't have to do shit, that's just,
That's
I
where my
don't
mindset
I don't get it.
is
I
mainly
don't get it.
focused on.
I
It's
don't get it.
focused
You're
on
like limiting your own potential to be able to survive and becoming more dependent.
that's it. Like in that aspect, I'm heavy on like balances within life anyway, man. You
Yes.
know what I mean? So for me, it's like if technology is in sync with the actual earth, you know what I mean? If it's used for that greater good and that greater benefit, it should be symbiotic. There shouldn't be
Yes.
that strong separation or pollution that's happening on a large global scale. Because even though they say go green, it's actually more detrimental to the earth to go green than it is
Yes.
the industrial revolution. Like,
Do you know how much it takes to mine a lithium battery? It's crazy. That aspect alone is like that. And what do you think they're using the machines to do it with? What are they powering them
Good old diesel.
with?
Diesel.
Big old diesels
and batteries, bro.
polluting the hell out of that atmosphere, along with their jets.
Real talk.
Yeah. Then
Right.
that's
So
not
I
even
mean, you
talking
guys
about
got
the
to
other
understand what you're
negative.
following first, right? I'd say that. Like, don't just you hear your buddy say go green and now you're going green. You don't even know what the hell that means.
Right. Like just to accentuate that, Tesla, the
Mhm.
largest death rate in the world right now is due to Tesla vehicles, and it has been since their creation and their mass production. Did you guys know that?
Did not know that. That's
I did
interesting.
not know that. No, I did know
Yeah.
that they were, like,
I have
selling a lot
no
of their
clue.
technologies. So,
Man, look that up,
yeah, I'm gonna check that out
don't just let
immediately.
Hickman tell you some stuff, man. You know what I mean?
Well, think
I'm
about that. Okay,
gonna look
and
into it
he's
though.
got the power grid. Now he controls the power grid due to the Tesla
Yeah,
charging stations.
Yeah, that
I
part, bro.
I don't trust that guy at all. I don't trust none of them.
Man, you hear
Better
him
watch what you
talking.
say, bro.
And when they got
uh,
they got the United States playing the Trump card and shit, so it's the Wild Wild West out here. What we talking
hey,
about?
man.
You know, real law isn't to be afraid of.
Right.
It should be embraced because it does give you that absolute freedom. People are always like, "Oh, well, what are we gonna do about this?" You stand your ground and you do what the
That's
original peoples and original Americans had did. But you're gonna have to stand and fight for something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the thing that's been taken out of the world. That's the whole entire psychological warfare battle that's been going on. If you guys
yeah.
want to understand more about that, look into Wellington House and Tavistock. It's all based and
Wellington
centered
House,
around Marxism.
Tabby, stop.
Yep. Psychological warfare, bringing down natural man.
You said it was planned. Wow.
Uh,
yeah,
It's been
man. All
going on
started
for
with
a
that.
long time.
Oh well, not the yeah, the psychological warfare that started a long time.
that
As far as like the way
psychologically
they're using
called
the
me to
law to
light my
incorporate.
blunt.
What's that?
Yeah.
What do you say? I missed it.
That psychologically called me to light my blunt. You know what
Yeah.
Right.
I'm saying?
That part. I was rereading over that some of that Erie Railroad case. Like that whole thing, like, is just mind blowing how they were able to take that and twist
I
it into
remember.
what we got now. You guys
Describe
familiar? I
it
know
right quick.
Hickman, you are.
Yeah,
Like,
describe it
you
right
guys
quick.
familiar with that?
I'm not.
I
That's
heard,
kind.
I've read it, but I don't remember it. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's kind of like that's the case that like basically kind of merged and gave them this statutory system of law, kind of, if it makes sense. Because up to that point, you had common law, and then you had like commercial law.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's what
Yeah,
they.
Still
and
What the
has
and
fuck
it
was
all
the
forms.
stemmed from
decision?
this. There was a train, right? Because commercial law involved anything that was doing with commerce, and it was completely separate from like your basic common law principles. But there was
Yeah.
a guy that got hit by a train, and that was what the original case was all about with it, because they were trying to determine, well, how do we rule this?
Yeah, was it federal or was it
Yeah,
state?
like do we like, is this like a common law? There is an injured party. This is a legit
Right.
crime. Like, but we also have this commercial entity, the Erie Railroad, that is operating in commerce. That's technically not really a person. Or well, I mean, I guess by law now they are, but
Right.
That's
Right.
kind of how they started to break up the railroad conglomerates, right? Like when America had created because we don't have nearly as many railroads as like the English or like the European countries in general, right? But
That is not a fact. All of our stuff is just buried. That's all that is. But we
yeah,
actually have the largest conglomerate, telecommunications and like traffic system, whether that's on road cars or old trolleys and stuff like that. Like every single city back in the gap, like 1800s, for this quote
yeah.
unquote reset, all had
There's whole
trolleys.
cities.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
cities.
In Chicago, we got like brick roads still. Like there's exposed bricks, and you can still see little pieces of the train track. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
man. They
The
tried to hide it.
cobblestones. Yeah, I see the trolley tracks in Philly.
Yeah,
Interesting.
every major city's got a city under it, guaranteed.
Big facts.
And I guarantee if you actually trace it back far enough, around the 1800s is when it's going to probably be this whole new city that's on top of the old.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
but I
some
think
weird.
that
Go ahead.
railroad
Go ahead.
case. I was saying it wasn't that Erie versus railroad case is kind of where that uh freaking the commercial crimes and shit came into play.
That's
Like where
it.
all
That's it.
crimes
That's how they
became
were able to
commercial type shit.
merge it into like kind of a criminal system like they are now. You know, because
Yeah,
technically all crimes are just commercial now.
they've
Yeah.
27 CFR 17.21 it should be for all crimes are commercial. You can find
Yeah,
that. But like there's been a lot of lingering I say quasi legality, you know what I mean? Because you've had the
exactly.
codes, you've had the Christian black codes, you've had, you know, the whole entire Section KV Act, you've had,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, all that stuff, man. So
And we're still operating on those principles right now,
Hey,
today.
that's like now that you bring that up, is all that stuff very well relevant?
yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
it's all military zone code issues and what the military, like what world military and naval operates on. So like, you ever hear me speak on airships or
Hmm.
airplanes or even boats, that's all relative towards human resources. You know what I'm saying? Personal development and human resources. So on a world scale, they're talking about human trafficking because you
Right.
take in air, you also walk through water, on water, and in water.
Yep.
Hmm. That's exactly what I
Little
like.
side note, that's also why they stopped letting you use lead paint,
Right.
because you can't penetrate through the lead with the like radars and things like that. There's only one
I
documented
didn't
case
know
of a kid
that.
eating
Hit my
lead
L
paint and
twice on
dying.
that one.
Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy because they fed us the bullshit about it
One
being
case.
dangerous to the kids.
Yeah, that's what they promoted anyway. It was one case, dude. One kid ate some lead paint. One documented case.
If you
That's
eat
all there is to
anything
know.
and don't die, you are a warrior. Cause what?
Yeah, Ricky's mother used to eat chip paints like paint chips all the time.
Or
That was hilarious, bro. See, you learn something every time. You on this bitch every time.
Right? That's why I love these like little wealth talks we do, man. It's you really I'll come into these things like trying to teach people stuff and always walk away learning something. It's awesome.
yeah, bro.
Sure. And it confirmed a lot with me, my reading and all that with this whole music shit because the only person that I felt like that came into the circle and I started contacting with that I didn't know that was in music now was Hickman. And he
Right?
done opened up
Yeah.
with all types of top motherfuckers.
And man, I'm telling you, it is absolutely no way it's a coincidence that
I know.
I run into all of these very educated, very knowledgeable, successful people in a completely different area, right? Like we might get together on some subcontracting job that has to do with land development or some shit. Nothing to do with me, and just so happens that person is just the most amazing musician or artist you ever met. And you're like, what? And then so
Yeah.
it's like you and Josh and Hickman and man, the guy that taking all this martial arts equipment stuff. Dude, he is absolutely brilliant on a guitar and can sing and writes his own songs too. It was amazing. I was like, what? It's just not, there's no way that we're not. And then Crystal, Crystal and Daphne, she
Yeah.
said that right before she met all of us, so this must have been right around the time, right before she probably reached out to you, Naeem, and you did the little session. Um, she said she had this vision of just this huge concert, like this big gigantic event, like 100,000 people at, and then like she ran into like met us like right after that.
Yeah, she's not the only one that had that vision because
I know,
I
man.
had it
I know
myself.
it's weird. It's weird.
I had it myself before she said something about it. And I had it like probably last year.
Yeah, I've always felt like that would be something.
Man, y'all thinking
I mean,
up,
I've
then
always had it
everything
in
will
mind. Yeah, bro. When I heard Hicksman's music when he sent that, because I think I just messed around and sent him just what I'd been working on. Right up until that point, we hadn't even talked about music or none of that. We didn't know nothing about anybody's music back then. And I
Man,
sent
your
him just
stuff
like
is
a little
dope, by
clip
the
of it.
way. It is dope. I just got to say that.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, when that man hit me back where he was like, "Oh, you okay?" He said, "I didn't know it was like that." So he's okay. Let me, let me give him a little something, bro. And I was like, "Oh my god, what? No way, man." Well, I
Yeah,
stayed up all night was listening to music, man. Hey, really, that y'all was doing it, really, especially back then. Oh my goodness.
Man,
That was some
appreciate
work
you,
that had
man.
to go into those productions and shit back then. That wasn't no, you know what I'm saying, shooting it on an iPhone type, you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
no, it was hella growth that was involved during all that,
Yeah,
man. I mean,
that was amazing.
where you're at, yo, man, yo shit is this up there, bro. I can't even lie. You got some elite level sound, bro. You know how to construct music.
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, shit, I better by now. You know, if I started at 5, I better be able to do something with it. No,
Real
honestly,
talk.
I think maybe this is probably like the time I should just the last 2 times that I really kind of got to a point to where I really was uh, you know, about to really do something. Just my stupid past and things that I was into when my youth fucked all that up. As a matter of fact, I was working on a mixtape with this guy, Lil Looney. Shout out Lil Looney and Down South affiliates. Uh, like we were doing a mixtape, and like I ended up getting locked up, and he had to just go ahead and do the whole mixtape on him. And he actually that opened. It was he was there and dropped the mixtape at Future's album release party, his first album release party. So
Shout out.
yeah,
Mm,
yeah, man, I was like, damn, missed the bus on that one, right? It's all
damn.
good though. And then it was like matter of fact, Jelly Roll and Lil White, they came to Chattanooga a long time ago. And we linked up for a minute, still on the same dumb shit, you know what I'm saying? Which they were too back then. Shout out to Jelly Roll for real. That man done blew up and did his thing. Got his shit together. Shout out Lil White too.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Man, see me, man, I started around like 15, you know what I mean? And music hit me like the opposite way. Like that shit struck me out of tragedy. You feel what I'm saying? And then like all of a sudden I can write rhymes and all this shit. And I was writing and I just became, I don't know, real sharp with the music. It was nothing that I ever had my eye on and then would never leave me alone.
Yeah, it is therapy, man. And I've noticed like the piano, honestly, I wasn't really that good a couple like 2 weeks ago, but I just been sitting like for some reason I'll sit down, and when I just start playing it, it really is like maybe it's the frequency, but it does. It's just it has this very calming effect. I love it. Like it's probably my favorite thing to play right now is a piano. I don't know why, and I just got the drum set up. That's like my what I've always loved to play, but I'm just on the piano hard. So I definitely get it with the outlet and being able to take. That's what I do. Like I with music, I don't rush anything. If I'm making a song, I'm not going to just throw some shit together. I'm going to
Right.
either get an inspiration from something that makes me start writing some bars, or maybe I'm going to just have. Sometimes like I'll just be sitting here, we doing just whatever, and I'll just be like, man, I just feel like I need to make a beat or something. and I'll just start messing around with something, and just before you know it, I come up with the whole thing. So
Yeah,
I
and
just let the inspiration lead that.
I didn't know that you was doing a production like that anyway. You know what I mean? Because you let me hear some shit that you produced. I was like, wait, what? You made that? Hold on, bro. You're holding out. You're holding
Appreciate it,
out.
man. Shit, when you jumped on that track, bro, and like when I went in, I think I was going into like anyway, I listened to it, and when I was like, oh my God. I was like, what? That's when I knew. Then I was like, okay, now I ain't snapping, bro. And then I was listening to what you were saying too, man. And I was like, oh, he ain't just talking some bullshit. Like he's swagging the hell out of the beat. And it's like it's on point, on topic, and it ain't no bullshit. He ain't talking about no popping bottles at the club and it, you know what I'm saying? Like I think you did make a reference, something about at the club, but then he hit it back with like we them guys and our wives know, you know what I'm saying? It
Yeah,
was like,
yeah,
man, yeah, it was dope.
yeah.
Yeah, you snapped on that. And you killed that beat switch, bro.
Yeah,
Like I went back in
What's
and
the
listened
track
to
I
it
heard?
the other night when I come out of my verse, and it was like kind of the slow piano melody with it, and then you drop that, bro. The switch up is so clean.
I appreciate it though. I would just be trying something just going off the ear.
That's what I do, man. That's what my uncle taught me a long time ago. Because he had this guy that came over to play a piano for like a track he was recording or something, right? And the dude had paid him like to record it, but there was something that was going on, like the dude had left like his sheet music or something, and he couldn't play. Like he
Mm,
could not play what he had came to record. He'd already paid for the session. They were in there. They were set up, ready to go, and the dude left the sheet music. And this was like a classical pianist. Like he was supposed to be the shit, and he couldn't do it. He had to literally just eat that loss. And I was like, what? That was the crazy. And that's why my uncle told, he was like, you learn to play by ear. You know, you shouldn't have to go get like a device with a button with a little blinking thing to be able to tune the guitar. Like if you can't hear the vibration of that string and know that it's in tune, then you probably don't need to be playing.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and that blew my mind. I was like, this dude is literally like a concert pianist, and if his sheet music fell over, he would like have to stop the show.
Mm,
That was crazy.
yeah,
And
it's
that
crazy.
goes into some whole deeper shit when you're talking frequencies.
Man, even though too, even with memory, because he ain't memorized none of it.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. How could you? Obviously, you got to have the cognitive ability to be able to read it. Because I mean, I can read the music, and sometimes that shit gets complicated when you're talking about like measures, and then you got to change like octaves and all that, and you got to be able to read that music with all those little swirly, swiggy lines and shit, man. And you got to know what that symbol represents. So you got to pay attention to a lot. But I'm like, if you can do all of that, if you can learn how to read the patterns in this music, notes that are written on the page, and you could practice it along with it, like how could you not, like you said, how could you not form the muscle memory or the mental connection to somehow program that into your memory? It was odd to me.
Yeah, because I can't read sheet music still. But the where I got my training at a little bit was in marching band playing the snare drum. You feel what
Yes.
I'm saying?
Hmm. That's why my uncle he pushed me to do that too. He was like, "You got to get in the marching band." And at the time, I was thinking, like, I'm playing football and wrestling, and basketball, and all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, marching band, what? Like, no,
Mm,
But I did anyway,
shit.
just because. And I'm glad I did. Honestly, it will teach you so much, man. If you're trying to be a rapper or a musician, bro, fuck what everybody thinks. Go join the marching band. It's
Yeah,
going to
they
teach
get
you
groovy.
cadence. It's going to teach you like rhythm. It's going to teach you how to pause. It's going to teach you how to crescendo. So if people don't even know nothing about that, like
Right, right.
the reason why a song will just resonate with you so hard is because they'll build the energy and the frequency of the song. So that's why you might have, if you'll notice like a song that's got a really hard ass chorus, it offsets it and makes it like really blend if you do like kind of a mellow verse, right? And
Hmm.
vice versa. If your verse is just hype as hell, when you get to like a bridge or a breakdown or something, you should mellow that shit out to where it's like it gives it like this pausing, like kind of calming,
Yeah, yeah,
sensation.
yeah.
And then especially toward the end. That's why a lot of people will do like the bridge and things toward the end of the song, because it will give you that kind of it. You know, you be hype as hell the whole song, and then you get to this, like, okay, it's metal that, and then right at the end it picks back up. That's like the crescendo when it builds, when you build the beat. You know what I'm saying? That's why that Lil Wayne Let the Beat Build. That's why that shit is so dope and resonates so well, because it really is the whole song. It crescendos, like you feel the energy of the song vibe and you build with it.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
great point.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
it's the same with like a jazz drummer. That's some of the hardest music to play. I love to play it, but it's so damn hard because a lot of jazz is coming in and out with those like builds and those kind of letdowns. Because you'll notice like a jazz drummer, sometimes he might just barely lightly tap that. You know, you might just barely hear like a, you know what I mean? And then at a time like where maybe they're about to go into like a guitar lead or something, he'll just completely quiet down all the way. Like, and you barely hear any of it. It'll just be while, you know what I'm saying? And so playing in a band will help with that too, because you'll know when to come hard, when to pause, when to like just fall back. And if you're doing like a live show, you got to know those things, right? Because you don't want to be on the drums just going hard as hell, loud as hell, overpowering everybody when it's supposed to be the guitar lead, you know, it's the lead solo. Like, and you're over there just overpowering him. So you got to learn those things to like actually perform around. Even, and that relates to just artists as well, right? Because if you're gonna be a hype man, you can't be up there yelling louder than the damn artist.
Right.
You gotta let him do his verse, bro. You can't be, you know what I'm saying? You can't be Diddy with it.
That's hilarious. Yeah, definitely, definitely, bro. And that's another thing that comes with like, uh collaborating with artists. You feel what I'm saying? Cause you get to study how they come in, their cadence, and it'd be different. It's a beautiful thing.
It is,
Uh,
man. I always like it when I somebody's like you know what, like Josh, for instance, he surprised the shit out of me with that I think it's the Stunner freestyle.
yeah, definitely. Shout me too.
Yeah, like I just been showing him some of the stuff that I was working on, and he had been like kind of doing some stuff, and we were just throwing shit back and forth, and I had invited him some of the beats and shit, and he went to the studio and was like, I'm gonna record the song, bro. It was 15 minutes, 2 takes, and it was done.
Hmm.
And when I heard it, I was like, "What do you mean you did? So you recorded it in 15 minutes and 2 takes?" And I was thinking, I was like, "All right." When I heard it, I was like, "Ain't no thing." Bro, he snapped it. He killed it. And even Hickman said something about it. He was like, "Bro," he was like, "I've never heard like an arrangement like that." He was like, "I've never heard I forget the word he used, but it was basically like that." He said that was such a different flow. Like it really was. I thought the same thing. I was like, this is insane. I was like, I have like it's like off beat on beat at the same time, if that
Hmm.
makes sense. Like it was, yeah, I was impressed as hell. And I was like, he did that shit in 15 minutes, man.
I said,
Like in the studio,
I was like, who
hit the
said you could
booth.
rap like that? Who said
Oh
you could
yeah,
rap
yeah,
like that?
he's good. He's good. He's really good actually. Man, I was like
And you
some of the
too.
shit he's
You
working
shocked the
on.
shit out of me too
Yeah, I
for
know,
what you
man.
had, because I was like, I didn't know what to expect. I never do. You feel what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I was like, for you to be coming the way you was coming, I was like, that's fucking interesting. Like, nice. You feel what I'm saying? like,
Appreciate it, man.
so it's
Yeah,
like,
I
I don't
just,
know, it's
man,
just a
it's
beautiful thing, right?
like you said, bro. I'll take experiences, shit that I've been through in life. You know what I mean? And it like it will. If you all the tragedy, bro, that I've ever went through, like I'll bleed that shit out in a song
Yeah,
and feel better,
yeah,
right? And
yeah.
feel amazing. So it's a way. I guarantee. As a matter of fact, there's studies they do this with music and frequency and trauma, right? Like it is absolutely like possible to rewrite memories for sure. Like they've actually done studies on this. Do you know that if me, you, and someone else is we all in a car wreck, right? I'm gonna
All right.
tell everybody that we swerved left and hit the pole, right? But you and whoever else are gonna tell everybody that we swerved right and hit the pole. And then if we get together and we're telling the story and you guys keep saying that we swerved right, eventually my brain will literally rewrite that memory to swerve right with y'all. So now we'll all be over time, we'll all be, oh yeah, we swerved right and hit the pole.
Hmm.
Like, so that's like a base principle. Your brain, even if you sever nerves or if you have like a disconnect from one of the neural pathways, your brain can remap that shit out, or it can connect another pathway to go around that shit with enough time and like, attention. And so like there's a lot of experiments, a lot of documented cases and shit where they took and people that have been through trauma, PTSD, even severe depression and anxiety, and they will use music to kind of help them heal from trauma, or get they even do it with writing. So there's, believe it or not, they give patients like minute doses of, I believe it was LSD or MDMA, I can't remember. And so they microdose them and then have them write out the letter of their trauma. So whatever it is that's like, causing all your trauma, you'll write that shit out in a story, like in a letter. And like over time, it's like a desensitizing of the trauma. So you
Yeah.
can use music the same way. It's definitely therapeutic. It's an outlet. They do it with music a lot. There was a DJ. She actually was in a car wreck, and it did exactly that. It severed like her neural pathways, and when she woke up, like language and sound and everything was like static. Like it was like speaking over the Charlie Brown speaker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she could tell, she could see that people were talking, and she had the cognitive awareness and everything. Like everything was normal except for the sound would not compute. Like she couldn't register the data and interpret like what it was, and was like that for a long ass time. And then there was a show that she used to watch like over and over before the accident, and it was the theme song, the little jingle that came on right before that song, or right before that show. Like she
Yeah.
heard that, and she was able to hear that tone, that noise, that sound. So she registered what that was. And that little bit, just that little tone was enough for her brain to pick that signal up and then remap all the fucking pathways so she could. And now she's back to DJing all over the world. I can't remember her name. She's dope, really.
It's a good thing right there.
Yeah. So that frequency and that music and shit is for real. And that's kind of like that I'm very selective about, like, because everybody says, oh, they can rap or they can do some music, and I'm like, yeah, okay, but can you really? Because
Right.
like I'm not like somebody. The first thing I'm gonna do, if you try to do a track with me, or like I gotta hear something first. You gonna
Yep.
have to show me something, bro. Because all that, oh yeah, my cousin and me, we've been rapping in the basement. All right, cool. I've been doing this shit my whole life, man, and I ain't on no bullshit. I'm not gonna put no dumbass song.
Yeah, absolutely. And me
But
was
y'all guys are snapping.
the
Every
build
one of
on
y'all is
that.
like top tier fucking artists. It's ridiculous. Don't make no sense. And every one of us met on some whole other. We met on some business finance shit, bro.
Yep, definitely.
That's
Like
crazy.
and to build on that again on some therapy thing, that's like all I do. Really, that's how I release music anyway. It's all about how I be
That's it.
feeling. You feel what I'm saying? And sometimes like I will continue to get a certain feeling until I finish writing the song out.
Yeah.
And then it be gone.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes like I'll have an inspiration on a song and I'll just write it. And I ain't got no beat. I ain't like, it's just that at that point it's just the inspiration of what I'm saying in the song. Right. And now like I definitely realized that who you are and what you think and the way you behave depends on the data that you interpret, right? So it depends on your surroundings, depends on the people you're talking to, the music that you listen to, the TV shows that you watch. All of that shit is programming data into your brain, whether you know it or not. Yeah, you think you're just watching this fucking show and it's funny and all this shit, but every little subliminal message, every little thing that gets put in that show gets like interpreted and downloaded into your memory, whether you know it or not, subconscious. And so I know that. So now, like, if I'm putting out a song, and the only time I'm gonna talk about some stupid shit like drugs and guns and all that shit is if I'm like making a reference to like back in the day, my past, like, and the only reason I'm gonna do that really is to kind of switch it up and just kind of show like the flip side of that. You know what I mean? Because I'm not gonna let my music and my frequency like fucking be detrimental to people's like growth.
I noticed that when I start referencing things like that, uh I put in like there's like a corrective statement that I make after it.
That's it. That's exactly that's a good way to put it. That's exactly what I was. I mean, yeah, that's a very good. I do it to show like yeah, correct because like it's nothing to promote. It's really not. I mean, and I thought like that was, that's what everybody that grows up in the hoods like, thinks is the way out is rapping or you know drugs or basketball. You know what I'm saying? You got
And when
sports,
it
music, or drugs, bro. And other than that, like you're really taught to believe that's it, bro. You ain't got no chance. Other than that, better go get your job.
and when it comes to guns and shit like that, I mean, I think of creative ways to talk about them and stuff like that, but I usually like send more emphasis on like the consequences of dealing with them.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And then
I think if more people were
if
just
you're going to
mindful of that
carry
shit,
them, I always tell them the lawful way to carry them. You know what I mean? Know about your right to
yes,
bear them, and I told them like my latest one is what I mean, having a license. You know what I mean? Legal way to carry one, and your law and your rightful way to bear
that's
them. You
it.
feel what I'm saying? So
That's it. How about just laws in general and just ways to protect yourself? Because really,
yeah.
I look back on like the stupid shit I was doing in my younger days and thought, did I ever need it back then? Yes, absolutely. If anybody needed it, it was somebody that was in the streets trying to break the law.
Mm.
Like, so I think it's absolutely absurd for somebody to be trying to literally be a criminal and break the law, and you don't even fucking know it. You don't even know the law, so you literally riding around dirty as hell and don't even know the law if you get pulled over.
Yeah,
You just
that's
riding around
crazy.
with a hope and a prayer that God gonna protect you. It's crazy, bro. Like, learn the laws, learn your rights.
Yeah.
Did you commit a crime? Right? What's the deal?
At
Am
least
I
learning,
detained? Am I free
at
to go?
least,
What's your
yeah,
probable
at,
cause? Anything?
at
Right?
least learn
Y'all know
enough
nothing about that.
to slick talk
How about
yourself
a
out
lock
of that shit.
box? Oh, it's in the glove compartment. The glove compartment is locked. I guess you'll need a warrant. It's
Yeah,
simple shit, guys. Like, but y'all don't know it, and that's why you're paying the price because it's not. It ain't got nothing to do with the money, bro. You can be rich as hell and still go to prison.
yeah. And the universe is showing you that exactly. It's probably why you keep on getting jammed up.
Yeah, man. You keep thinking, oh, I get enough money and I can just buy my way out, bro. No,
Universe
know
is
what you're
showing you,
buying
dog.
first.
I'm gonna give
Know
you
what you're
this.
buying. I did
I
that
give
dumb
you
shit too.
this.
Pay a
I
lawyer
give you
a bunch of
this.
money.
Look, the universe telling
Beat the
you,
case.
I'm gonna give you this shit right here, hustler. You feel what I'm saying? But I'm gonna always throw you this curveball because until you learn how to knock that bitch out the park, you
That's
still gonna
it.
go
You're
to
gonna keep
jail every
going around
fucking
in
time.
bases.
Every fucking
That's
time.
it. It will. It'll loop. The
Realize the
universe will
fucking
loop your
loop,
ass too, won't it?
man. Realize the fucking loop, bro.
It'll send your ass right back through that shit. You'll be like, damn, man, why I keep going through the same dumb shit, man? All right, I'm gonna keep doing the same thing.
Yeah, you realize it's the
I'm gonna
same
keep
dumb
pushing,
shit, but you don't
Like, all right,
realize that I need to learn how to
yeah.
get the fuck out of this fucking same dumb shit
You know what
every time
I
it
realized it was
arrives.
so crazy, man, is when I like, okay, at a time in my life, it was like if I get this money and I pay it to this lawyer, then I'm straight, right? And I never once thought like, well, why is this lawyer able to get you straight? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it that he's doing that you get to just get? You know what I'm saying? You're giving this man a huge amount of money, and he's gonna be in the courtroom 30 minutes. Like, what did you pay for? Right? And when I learned what I paid, I was like, oh my goodness gracious. I paid for some damn common sense, what I paid for. Simple shit, man. Illegal search and seizures, which is what most cases get beat off of. Just learn how that works. It's a very simple process. And if they don't meet the criteria, case dismissed.
Mhm.
but people don't know shit, man. You know, you need to realize, first of all, if there's a law that's put in place to, quote unquote, protect people, best believe there's a fucking back door for the ones that are in control, because they don't want their fucking grandson going out and, getting drunk and getting into some car wreck with a hooker and going to jail and their whole family being, on the front page. And now he's got to go to, no, hell no, dude. So they're going to learn how to handle this privately with some administrative processes. We'll file a couple, pieces of paper, and we'll keep this all hush hush. We'll seal the record and be done with this. Here's some, we'll donate some money to some charity. We'll do whatever. Let's just get this squashed. Here's a contract. So, you know what I'm saying? All kind of shit. There's backdoor shit all over the place. And then you got the whole issue. I'm not going to speak on like some of the other things, but yeah. Just learn what's going on, man. If you're operating in any, like, you're not operating outside of shit, though. If you're using Federal Reserve notes, right? Cash App. Nowadays they're being stupid and fucking hustling on Snapchat like idiots, wondering why they're catching Fed cases. It's crazy, man. But yeah, real shit, man. Just
Yeah, and all you
learn what you're
all,
doing,
and all
man,
you,
because you can make money off anything, and you can definitely get your money took off anything.
yep. Hey baby, I'm sweaty.
You're
How
sweating.
are you?
Yeah, man. I got my kids coming in too. Look, I think that's it for today, man. I got a lot of stuff to do, man. I got to prepare for
Daddy.
a long trip, man. But I will get back with you guys as soon as we return.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That was a good talk, man.
Yeah,
Hey,
man.